Yes then people, what is good? Welcome back to LBL round 12. We're getting ready to go around Hungary. We had a biblical qualifying. The top 3 people in the league all binned it near enough off the start. We got Nico on pole with Danny in second. 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go, as it seems to be a good start from Nico. Danny in second, getting away from everybody else apart from Nolking, who he's side by side with going into turn 1. Nico staying in first. Danny going side by side with Nico. With Nolking. We got Jack in 4th. A great qualifying from him as he started in 4th. Probably much to the luck and bad luck of, like I was saying before, of Drakes and Grimes, who were starting down in 15th and 16th, respectively. We've got 35 laps around Hungary. Seems to be like a bit of a tame start. It's very rare for the LBL. We're on board with Danny there, clipping the curb. Nico already 1.2 up the road. Further down, we've got Nolking in 3rd. And Jack in 4th. Everybody in the top 4 maintaining their starting positions. King Joel up a position. JD, who qualified in 8th on the mediums, now up into 6th. With Zippy just behind him. And then Jake slotting in behind those two. Young Demon King getting at it with Jake there. And Andy closing out the top 10. Who qualified on mediums but chose to start on the softs instead. Perhaps thought a bit of a strategy change maybe. Had a bit of a change of heart. As you see Andy here getting up in the slipstream in the inside. Going to go for a double overtake into turn 1. Overtakes Young Demon and Jake King. What a double move there into turn 1. Beautiful stuff there from Andy. This man's on the softs. He's going to have to capitalise on them now whilst he's a bit faster. Maybe the strategy change was the strategy change to take. Jake and Young Demon aren't going to be very happy about that. They won't be best pleased at all. Having been both overtaken there. We've got Delirious, lost out of position from the start, down in 11th on the medium, so it could be expected. But I'll be sure to see him later on, as there is a little bit of a incident there just in front. Andy and Jake getting into it. Jake spinning at the chicane with Andy running wide. Promotes 3 or 4 people in front of them now. I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm also not certain if there is damage. Jake down in 16th. While Andy is in 12th. We got Cam now in 10th. The 2 Red Bulls of Bernie, and unfortunately after that, beautiful double overtake into turn 1. Little bit of contact there at the chicane. Nico with a 19, pretty much flat. Setting the fastest lap there as DRS is now enabled. After that beautiful double overtake by Andy, he now finds himself down in 12th. Drake's in 13th. With our nation's sweetheart, our darling, the LBL representative, Alfie Obalf Racing in 14th. We always fancy him to score some points. Bit of a dark horse in the LBL. Doesn't pick himself as one of the best drivers in here, but certainly manages to always find himself in the points. I think with 12 races in, there's a Red Bull there going a bit wide on the exit of turn 3. Drake's into 12. I think Bernie's just trying to struggle to get some grips. As Alfie's going to go the inside, squeezing Bernie to the edge of the curb. Nice little overtake there. Oh, Alfie, back end oversteering, kicking out there. Gets the move done without any casualties. Very nicely done indeed. Bernie stepping in as a reserve today for the missing Bidoof. Very unfortunate there. As Jake makes an audacious move around the outside. Obviously to no avail. It didn't work. Ben in 16th. Also another reserve driver stepping in for Bames. As we have an early pit stop from Bernie. Perhaps picked up a bit of wing damage. We have Grimes down in 17 on the hards. Probably going to be going a long distance on these tyres. I'll be amazed if he stretches these out to the end. I don't think he would though. Perhaps had a bit of early contact. And put himself in an even worse position. Jason in 18th, closing out the grid. We only have 18 races today due to a couple of unavailabilities, and then unfortunately not being able to find any of the reserves in time. But still up front, it is Nico Second gap to Danny, with Nolking quite close behind Danny and the other Williams. We have a Williams 3-4 right now. The other Williams, King Joel, in fourth as he runs wide, as does Jack in fifth, just behind him. Could these soft tyres already be proving worn already? Is the deg on them a bit crazy? As we have 2 yellow flags for Sector 2 and 3. Drake's already gained 6 positions off the start from 17th to 11th as he's trying to close down the top 10 there. The man's third currently in the championship. Currently not in the position he'd want to be though. What with Danny in second there, chasing down Nico. He's out of the points currently. This is certainly the last thing he would have wanted. Same with Grimes down in 16th, but I doubt they will be finishing in those positions. We're on lap 5. No DNFs. I think this is a record for the LBR. We've gone 5 laps without a DNF.
And without a safety car.
Fuck's sake. And I actually hate that. That is... we have a yellow flag in Sector 1 and in Sector 2 as well. Still Danny in second with Noel King just behind him as he runs wide as well at the end of Sector 2 there. Nico perhaps controlling the pace, although he is on the soft tyres. So he will have the pace advantage for now. Perhaps maybe why this is why Danny is being kept at bay currently. Although later on, I'm sure when they switch the compounds, there'll be a lot more closer racing. Meanwhile, further down, we've got the 2 Ferraris of JD and Delirious in 6th and 7th respectively. Both on the medium tyres. Started in 8th and 10th. Now in 6th and 7th. So good points haul for them so far. Nico, unfortunately, racing as the sole McLaren driver today. I was talking with JD and Delirious. They say they have a little bit of a rivalry with McLaren for third in the Constructors for this season. Right now, they both have decent points, but Nico is still in first. So on his own, as a bit of a one-man band, is currently outscoring the Ferrari duo at this moment in time. But this is LBL. This is a biblical league. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm still waiting for Alfie to win a race. Meanwhile, during all of this, Drake's did get in to 10th. Although he didn't overtake Andy, so I must have missed someone else that they both overtook. Maybe a mistake from Zippy, actually, I believe. Zippy was he started in 9th, so perhaps he made a little bit of a mistake there, and Andy and Drake's both were able to get through. Cam in 11th as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, not quite sure why. Double yellow flag in Sector 2. Alfie up into 12th. He's gained 2 positions from when we last saw his on board, as just in front now at the very front of the pack. We've got Danny and Nico right at it. 3 temps between the pair of them. Could all this squabbling allow Noel King to get even closer to the both of them? Noel King would love this to be able to take a race win this season. He's one of the faster drivers. I'd probably say at the top end of the mid pack, but you know, he's just been unable to race with the big boys due to, you know, just raw pace. But you know, that's what happens. He's now here, staying in the slipstream, managing the ERS. Nico's about to lap someone, although this will be beneficial to him as he's going to gain some DRS for this lap. Jake Pig going to get out of the way. I think he's going to gain... No, he's not, because Jake moved out of the way. He's not going to get DRS this lap. So here we go now on lap 7, the end of lap 7. Danny opening up the ERS, the DRS, the whole shebang. Going to go side by side with Nico. Does take the lead of the Grand Prix. But what's Nico going to do with the switchback potentially? No. Just slots in behind Danny. Danny is going to have a double DRS now. Nico deploying as much ERS as he possibly can to stay with Danny. A little bit of oversteer there, as I saw from Nico having to lift off the throttle. As we already have blue flags. And there is a 5-second time penalty for Zippy speeding in this pit lane. That is the last thing he would want. Started on 9th, now in 15th with a 5-second penalty. It's going from bad to worse for Zippy. Oh, Nico nearly loses control there. I think these tyres are starting to come to the end of their life. Very unfortunate for Nico there. As Danny's now 1.3 up ahead with Nolking closing down on Nico as well. These couple of mistakes that Nico's had as he runs wide again, these couple of mistakes have allowed Nolking to get right up behind Nico. This could be a lovely race for P2. Nico having used near enough all of his ERS just to stay with Danny, but he is going to come in. We did say those tyres were looking a bit worse for wear, and Nico has come in now. Nolking did get DRS there. Danny's on the medium, so obviously we will expect him to stay out a lot longer than all these other boys, as we've got a few pit stops currently. I think the last few people we will see pit this race are Danny, JD, Delirious, and then also Grimes down in 12th, who obviously pitted for the hards. There must have been an instant very early on in the race we did not catch. Drake's is up into 5th as well. Bearing in mind there are obviously some pit stops, but it's very nice. Gained 12 positions from the start of the race. That is lovely from him. We've got Jake, qualified in 5th. He's now at the back of the grid on the hards. Going to take these to the end, I would imagine. He's just had a poor start to the race. I don't really see much coming from the race from him now. I think he will be missing out on points today, as we've got a bit of action here between Nico and Alfie. Nico on the fresher tyres. He's going to start clearing some of these people just in front of him. Ooh, Alfie nearly losing it. That curb is becoming such a detriment to all of the drivers. Although the tyre deck is crazy around here. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1 as we have our first DNF. It is, of course, Zippy. We said it went from bad to worse. Well, it's gone from worse to woeful. The man started on 9th, dropped to 15th, had a 5-second penalty, and has now DNF'd. That is unfortunate there from the Alpine man. One of the reserves we had in today isn't going to score any points for Alpine. Danny, unfortunately, missing out on his teammate Scott, the ever reliable Scott. But it is what it is. I think we have a bit of team radio coming in from Zippy. He's very unhappy with one of the other drivers. The Alfa Romeo of Jason. I think they came into a bit of contact. We'll have to have a look at that after the race. Bit of an FIA investigation. It's going to be opened up. Still have Danny in first. 11-second gap to JD with his teammate 4 seconds behind. The other prancing horse of Delirious in third. None of these guys have yet pitted. I think Drake's has also pitted. Perhaps he's going to go to the end on these tyres. We'll have to look at the race director a little bit later on. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 2. Not quite sure what's going on. We got Nico going side by side with Cam. Unable to get the move done there. Nico opted to go onto the hards. Going to take these to the end. Nico will have DRS here on the main straight. I think everybody has pitted, obviously, bar the people on the mediums. Nico going side by side with Cam into turn 1. Does get in front. Is there any form of a switchback for Cam? Unfortunately not. Obviously, the double DRS just proves too strong. And then Nico is able to get in front and get the move done. Very nice, good stuff there from Nico. We have Alfie also approaching up the back end of Cam. Coming towards the end of Sector 1 now. They're going through. We're on lap 11 already. These races go crazy fast. As we get back into the action. I think we'll perhaps start to see the front runners pit in the next sort of 4 or 5 laps, I'd have thought. It's just a very mixed grid. You know, obviously business as usual at the front there for Danny. Is Alfie is perhaps going to think about making a move on Cam? He does not. No dive bombs from Alfie today. Just this moment anyway. Yellow flag in sector 3. Yeah, as I was saying before, you know, it is kind of business as usual at the moment for Danny in first. You know, a little bit of a surprise to see the two Ferraris in second and third. Drake's with a great comeback drive so far. Nico, who started on pole, did get overtaken by Danny. He's going to go to the end on the softs. He's pitted on. It's gone from bad to worse for Jake, as he's now being lapped by half of the grid already, as he's just there in front of Cam, a second up the road. Well, technically a lap down, but still. Grimes now finds himself up into the points. These hard tyres will take him to the end. Noel King in 10th. I think everybody's doing the hard strategy. I mean, obviously, it's just best for a one-stop. I mean, if we have a look on the race director, yeah, you could just see... Jake's actually started on the hard, so okay, so he will have to pit at some point, I'd have thought, unless... No. Nico, obviously on the hards as well. Grimes, Noel King, Demon, Andy, Bernie, all came in and pitted again for the hards. Most of the grid are taking the hards to the end. Lap 13 or 14 now technically. Still only one DNF as we have a yellow flag. Sector 2. It'd always be handy if I knew where these yellow flags were so I could quickly run and find out where the action actually was, you know, because instead I'm having to scroll through the drivers and find out where the actual incident is. King Joel overtaking Booney there. I think Booney is going slow for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. I don't think there's going to be an engine issue. No clue, but never mind. Jason in 15th. Ben in 16th. Ghosted, as we just saw there. As we got Cam and Alfie getting into it. Alfie and Jack getting into it. Is Alfie, I think, might have just spun at that corner. That is quite a common corner for people to lose control of the car, which promoted Jack and Grimes up, as Jake's now getting in the way of cars, or unless maybe he's trying to lap himself, but I highly doubt it. Alfie in 9th. He is in the points. That is what we wanted to see. Whether he stays there is an entirely different question. We still got Danny up in first, just minding his own business, doing his own thing, taking in all of the scenery, having fun. Still yet to pit. The two Ferraris are still behind him in second and third, of JD and Delirious, running at pretty much the same pace. They've been this same gap for like the past sort of 5 or 6 laps, which has been very nice for them. Drake's now into 4th as he is closing in on Delirious. These hard tyres seemingly proving the best, obviously for tyre deg anyway, but for what seems like raw pace, it is seeming like, you know, obviously that the hards are just maintaining it. So I think people who pitted onto the hards, you know, instead of doing the 2-stop, I think they might have hit the nail on the head around such as a track as Hungary, with the amount of tyre deg that it does produce around here. Drakes will have a stab at Delirious with DRS. The same ERS to work with though, but I fear... Yeah, there it goes. All of the ERS being dumped out by Delirious. Drakes will not get a shot at overtaking Delirious this lap unless there is a mistake from Delirious himself. Although he's a very consistent driver. Forever a P4 finisher if I've ever seen one. Although obviously currently running in 3rd. Would like to keep that podium. So I think the top 4, out of all the top 4, none of them have pitted just yet. As we've got a couple of pits from Alfie and Noel King there. There might have been a little bit of collision, bit of damage on perhaps either of their cars. Because I know Noel King had already previously pitted. He was in third. And, well, no, he's not. So, yep. Nico in fifth. Ooh, bit of a dust kick there from either Drakes or Delirious. Nico in fifth. Started on pole. Did get overtaken by Danny earlier on in the race, just before the round of pit stops. Nico was losing pace left, right and centre. As JD is now going to be the first of the medium tyres to come in. I'm not quite sure where it will leave him. It might come out 8th or 9th. We shall see, as Grimes is now up into 7th. Drake's in second there. Lovely move on Delirious, as you just saw up in front there. We did say the lap prior he wasn't that quite close, but obviously Delirious had to use all of his ERS just to stay in front of him. And now, obviously without the extra boost, Drake's opened up the letterbox and was able to get going. I think in an ideal world, obviously with Delirious being on the slower tyres, Nico would have preferred to be able to overtake Drake's before Drake's overtook Delirious, because then at least, you know, he would have been able to build up a little bit of a gap, as we have our second retirement. Jake in 17th. Very unfortunate there for the Horseman. Yet again, it's going to be a pointless finish for Alfie's teammate. There have been 40 points scored, as Delirious is now going to come in and pit. There have been 40 points scored for Haas, and 39 of them after 12 races have all been from Alfie. Lap 17. We're about halfway done to this race now. Danny's still in first, but Grimes setting the fastest lap of the race on those hards. They are proving efficient. They are proving quick. Nico was able to close up on the back of Drake's there over the last little kind of lap and a half. Now right behind him, he will have DRS, providing there are no mistakes or collisions or anything. Oh, never mind. Oh, Nolking is going fastest on those medium tyres. Just after I said the hards were working, Nolking is going a little bit faster. Nico was unfortunate to get a bit of a kick out there from the back of the car. He is still in DRS. Little bit less ERS to work with than Drake's, but we will see. Lap 18 now. Danny's still yet to pit. Jason Davies with a 3-second time penalty. Not quite sure what for. We still have 16 runners in this race so far. Nico getting ever closer to the back end of Drake's. It's currently a Mercedes 2-4. What's Nico thinking about now? If I was in this position, I would just play it cool. Wait till the DRS, unless obviously the person in front of him, he does make that mistake and opens up the gap to make the overtake. I would just wait for the DRS, you know, on the fresher tyres, and go for it. See, Drakes and Grimes will both have to pit at some point, having only been on one compound of tyres. There we go now on the main straight. Nico going to go side by side with Drakes into turn when he does get in front of him. And with the DRS open yet again, as they're going to come down the hill here, he does remain in front of Drakes. to retake P2. He's currently 23 seconds behind the race leader, Danny, who still is yet to pit. Surely these tyres are making him a bit slower by now. Well, what is Danny thinking? Is he thinking about stretching them out maybe to lap 25 and then sticking on a set of softs? That would be a tall order to do, but I wouldn't put it past him to be able to do it. Danny's going to actually come in now. His tyres lasted him 19 laps. What tyres is he putting on? I imagine to save his life he's going to put on the hards. He does indeed go for the hard tyre now. He's just had his car serviced. Nico is coming round the final corner. Drake's now coming into the pits as well. It's going to be close. But Danny will retake the lead of the race. 3.5 seconds up the road from Nico. Grimes still yet to pit as well, as he's in the middle of some lap cars. Ooh, a little bit of a lag spike there from Grimes. In third, Jack in fourth. This is where, like, after all the pit stops, everybody starts to become back into, you know, their original positions. You know, obviously with the alternate strategies, people will be in different positions throughout the course of the race than where they previously were due to pit stops. Lap 20. On board with Jack, he's in fourth. Great race so far from him. Not very often you see the Aston Martins this high up, especially in the LBO anyway. Been a great race so far for Jack. JD and Delirious in 5th and 6th, respectively there. They were in 2nd and 3rd, but obviously, like I said before, with pit stops and whatnot, they have been dropped down a few positions each. As Grimes in 3rd, this man still needs to pit, but I think he feels like he has the pace on these tyres still. They have lasted him 21 laps. I think this is very much a damage limitation race for both of the Mercedes. Having that woeful qualifying, you know, in 15th and 16th, I think they started between the pair of them. Oh, 16th and 17th, actually, if I am correct. They have done they've done very well to be in the current positions they are in, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Not quite sure why. I think from the start of this race, Danny's just had it very comfortable. Currently 5.2 in front of Nico. No need to push anything. Nico using all of his ERS, all the tricks in the book to be able to get close to Nico as Danny sets the fastest lap of the race. Do excuse my scuffed commentary. It is going to be even more biblical than normal. I am just getting over a cold, so my head is a little bit fuzzy, but nonetheless I'm still here, we're still racing. This is live action that does get put onto the YouTube channel just because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to edit, so it's just the easiest way for me to do it. Speaking of the live stream, if you do want to come and watch all of this action live, click the link in the description. It will take you to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LawtonLad as well, obviously. All the good stuff. There's all the socials over there as well, so you can keep up to date whenever I'm live. Whenever you can be able to see these races. They are every Tuesday at 5 PM. There's not really that much more to say about it, really. It's just a biblical race every Tuesday. Obviously, I never record the qualifying. That never gets put on my YouTube, but I do live stream it as well, so if you want to get in and watch how that unfolds before the race, You're more than welcome to come over. Also, at the same time, after the race, we do open lobbies for a bit with some of the viewers where they can let off a bit of steam, have a bit of fun. Nothing is anywhere near as serious as the most serious league, the LBL. I think it's more serious than F1 itself. That was a blatant lie. This is the most shithouse league you will ever feast your eyes upon. But it is the best for content. Because it's biblical. I wonder how many times I've said biblical in a video. Maybe 20, 30, 100, 1,000. Who knows? But anyway, enough of me bickering on. Back to the action. We're about 2/3 of the way through this race. Danny still in first on the hard tyres. As you saw him not long ago, setting the fastest lap of the race. Nico in second, 6.7 behind him. Grimes still in third, but yet to pit. I would imagine he will be coming in very shortly for his pit stop. I mean, we don't want him getting DQ'd, do we? Well, some people might want him getting DQ'd. But I don't. For the sake of the content, I don't want him to get DQ'd. So he best come in and do his pit stop. Jack still in fourth. With Drake's not that far behind him. Drake's pitted on to the mediums after starting on the hards. Booney just behind. Oh, never mind. Booney is a lap down. But still, he's physically behind him. I think Delirious just got to move over JD there, otherwise he wouldn't have had the DRS. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a fight here between the two Ferraris, or perhaps Delirious's tyres and pace is just working a lot better than JD's. We'll stay on board with JD for a little bit. I always like to watch JD. He is a bit of a clean driver. Always fun to see him get into it with other people. He has got a bit of a reputation for being a clean driver. Not in my open lobbies, mind you, but in the LBL when it is showtime, he does behave. I think he has well and truly lost the place to Delirious. Although he is coming back a little bit there. The gap was 1.1. It is now hovering around the second mark. JD will definitely want DRS here. Unless perhaps the Ferraris are just slingshotting each other. Delirious did give JD DRS just there. So JD now, of course, will be able to close down. As just in front, Drakes has overtaken Jack on the fresher tyres. He is up into fourth now. It is currently a 3-4 for Mercedes. Obviously with Grimes yet to pit, of course. I'd be quite amazed to see where Grimes finishes now. Because surely these tyres are starting, you know, they're starting to lose a bit of grip, lose a bit of wear. Sorry, or get a lot more wear. So surely he's losing pace. Perhaps he'll come in. Maybe do the Michael Schumacher coming in on the last lap of the race. Yellow flag in Sector 1. It has been a very tame race today. I rue the day where I load up my Discord and there is not a single steward submission. That would be biblical. Yeah, it's just been, for a race that I thought was going to see a lot of carnage, it really hasn't. A little bit of a corner cut there from Grimes. Very naughty boy indeed. Yeah, from a race that I thought was going to see a lot more carnage, it's been probably one of the most tame races in the LBRs. We do have 2 yellow flags in Sector 2 and then 3. Still got Jack in 5th. Delirious trying to close him down. Isn't going to be doing anything with that type of cornering. Had to correct himself there big time. The man who loves a Magnum and a glass of wine every Tuesday says it's energy, it's fuel for his racing. He also said to me the 1 week he did not have any of his special drink, he did not finish in the points, as we have Drake's in the pits. I wonder why. 8 laps to go. Drake's had a front wing knock. That is very upsetting to see. That is very unfortunate. I missed that at some point, but now Drake's is going to probably set the fastest lap of the race. So that will help himself and Grimes in terms of the championship. Let's have a look here. What's going to happen here? Knocking, overtaking Cam there. Drake's came out in 8th. Grimes is still yet to pit. And Jack is in 4th, sorry. Could we see a Jack FC podium? If we see a Jack FC podium, I don't think I'll ever end the hear it. I don't think I'll ever hear the end of it. It's just been crazy so far. Still 7 laps to go, as Alfie's left the session in 11th. I'm not quite sure what's happened there from the Horseman. Currently just outside the points. Really confused, but nevertheless, it's happened. It's tough. It's what happens. Still on board with Grimes in 3rd. Still yet to pit. As Grimes sees Nico there just in front of him a few seconds up the road. When is Grimes going to come in and pit? He is taking these hards a very long way. As the grip is starting to go, you can tell now. He is in 3rd. He definitely hasn't pitted. I'm definitely... Grimes pitted? When did Grimes pit? Oh, Grimes pitted super early. What am I thinking of? As Jason Davies sets the fastest lap of the race on the softs, I completely forgot. Grimes had to pit super early. Crazy stuff there from Grimes. As like I said before, Drake's going on to the softs there. Does take the fastest lap of the race so far. Still 6 laps left to go. Well then, I stand corrected. Grimes is in 3rd, and this is a legitimate position. I've been lying to you the entire race. Well, that has baffled me. And that is why I am your local shithouse commentator. So, Grimes is legitimately in 3rd. Drake's is in 7th. It has, regardless, it's still been a very good comeback drive for both the Mercedes. At least Drake's going even faster now. 17-4 there. Oh, Grimes, you can tell the tyre wear is getting to him a bit now. Nearly lost the back end out of the chicane there. Anyway, let's have a look at some more action here. Let's go a little bit further down into 13th. We've got King Joel just behind Young Demon. See what happens here. King Joel unfortunately started in 6th, now out of the points. They are ghosting because a certain someone in 1st is about ready to lap them. King Joel, also Young Demon getting out of the way, as did King Joel. Alfie unfortunately retired from the race. Danny just goes straight through the ghost of Alfie there. Still in 1st. He's been in 1st pretty much the entirety of this race. As JD overtakes Drakes. What has happened? What just happened there? Did Drakes get close to JD and then lose it? He's only got half of his front wing now. Or half of I don't know what that was I was seeing. Whoa, a little bit of a back snap there. It's a 5-6 for Ferrari currently, with Delirious getting close to Jack on lap 32. Back end of Jack is flashing. Delirious is pretty much also at that stage. This could be a tidy battle for P4. Yellow flag in sector 2. Ooh. Yellow flag in sector 2 and 3 as JD's dropped all the way down to 13th. What has happened? I have no clue what is going on. Never mind, he's back into 6th. Okay, so the lobby's bugging out yet again. That's what we love to see. Delirious right behind Jack now. He will get DRS this lap. And he will get a stab at Jack. Jack doing a little bit of weaving. A bit too much weaving for my liking. Does calm it down as Delirious gets close to Jack there. Delirious going down the inside with the DRS. Jack running wide. Unable to get the switch back. Delirious will take P4 for the time being. Up in front. Well, in 3rd. Grimes now 3 seconds behind Nico. Although, you know, with 2 laps remaining roughly, I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. It will require a miracle for Grimes if he is to catch Nico. Nico actually doing Danny a favour, as Danny's in turn 1 of lap 34, the penultimate lap of the race. Grimes coming into the pits. Why? Did he have wing damage? He did not. He just wants to set. He just wants to go on the softs. Delirious coming around the final corner now. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Delirious is going to come out side by side with Grimes. Who's going to come out in front? Grimes just about. He's coming out here. Damage limitation to set the fastest lap of the race. Timed that to perfection. He knew he wasn't going to catch Nico, so he just wants to go for the fastest lap of the race. Let's hope he doesn't get a penalty now. Saying Delirious is running down in 13th or 12th now, but the lobby is bugged yet again. A second week running, the lobby is bugged. Grimes going to go for the fastest lap of the race, get the extra point, damage limitation. Knew he wasn't catching Nico. Smart decision. Danny is now on the final lap of this race. It's been a commanding race from the start, as it's yellow flags all over the track. Started in second on the mediums. Got past Nico early. After the round of pit stops, came out in first and has since stayed there, as he is now coming round for his last lap of this race. This will also extend his championship at the top of the table, which obviously will be something that he will be elated to see. But from start to finish, it has been all but Danny's race, as he's now coming around the final couple of corners. Around the final bend of the Hungarian Grand Prix, Danny will take the checkered flag. He comes on in P1. Nico started on pole. Perhaps wouldn't have done it if Danny hadn't have binned it in quali. But he's also going to come around the final corner of the Grand Prix to take P2. Grimes was going for fastest lap of the race. Might get it here. Let's have a look. See. Does that pit stop pay off? I reckon it will do. It's been a blistering lap for him. It does. He will take the fastest lap of the race so far. He finishes in third. Delirious. Lovely race from him to come home in fourth. Jack in fifth. Drake's in sixth. Oh, there is something bugged with the lobbies. GG's there to everybody who's raced. Yeah, like I was saying before, Grimes towards the end of the race obviously noticed he wasn't going to finish in second, so made quite the clever decision in my eyes. Came in, didn't get held up by Delirious, timed it to perfection, got the extra point at the race end. Beautiful recovery drive from the Mercedes. Like I was saying, both of the Ferraris aren't where they should be right now. As you can see, they are the only two. There it is. JD is now finished in sixth. I do think Delirious finished in fourth. I'm not quite certain. We will have a look at the final standings. Grimes, driver of the day, quite deservedly so. I will say Drake's was also a close second. That was beautiful racing from both of the Mercedes there. Danny, though, does extend his championship lead with that another race win yet again. Nico finishing in second. Lovely stuff there. Very clean race today, I would like to say. It was a very tame race. Very uncharacteristic for the LBL, if I do say so myself. But nonetheless, that is round 12 of the LBL finished, over and done with. I've no clue where it is next week. I'm useless for remembering. It's one of the circuits. But there it is. Danny finishing in first. Nico second, Grimes third. Delirious finished in fourth in the end. Jack in fifth, Drake sixth, JD in seventh as well. Andy in eighth. Noel King started in third, finished in ninth. Cam rounds out the top 10 with Young Demon in 11th. Alfie didn't score any points today. Very unfortunate for him. He did leave the race a little bit earlier on, but that's what happens. Jason in 13th. The Redemption Man isn't working for him. Bernie in 14th. Ben 15th. King Joel 16th. Jake in 17th. And then Zippy with the early DNF, as well as Jake closes out the rest of the grid. Well, that's all from me today. Round 12. We will be back next week for Spa. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next Tuesday. And peace!